The mission of the Community Food Bank is to serve our neighbors in need today and foster collaborative solutions to fight hunger tomorrow. For 40 years, we have served toward this mission alongside many community partners.
In the early 1980s, I hadn't been out of the Army too long, and Daddy had just died, and so I'm sitting at my desk, head down, grinding it out, and I look up, Mr. Joe Bruno, Mr. Carl Adams, General Henry Graham, and Mr. Mason Smith, icons of our community, walk in the door. Mr. Joe Bruno said, "I've got too much perfectly good food that we're throwing away and too many hungry people in our city. Would you help us do something about that?"
Joe Bruno supported countless organizations, including the Community Food Bank. He served on the original board of directors. They donated equipment to the food bank, and Bruno Grocery participated in the food recovery program, where grocers could donate food to the food bank.
Used Daddy's old pickup to go to the different Bruno stores to just get whatever they had. Mr. Carl Adams, Adams Brothers Produce, and we'd use that in mostly Salvation Army and Jimmy Hale's kind of how we started. United Way has supported us, helped us get our 501c3, and frankly that initial grant to get us a place to operate out of and grow was the air we were breathing. We couldn't have done it without the United Way.
Food Bank and United Way go all the way back to the very beginning of the food bank. In fact, if you go back and look in our old minutes, there were a whole bunch of discussions at the United Way board back in 1981 about the need for a community food bank. And then of course when the steel industry had a massive reduction in force in 1982, it added a sense of urgency to those discussions. And that's when the community volunteers through the United Way decided to start what is now the Community Food Bank.
Community Foundation Greater Birmingham gave us a large grant, and now we were started. We had a little bit of inertia going, and then we got rented some space out to Farmers Market out on Finley Avenue, and that was the game changer. Built a freezer, first freezer, and we finally had some room, and that's when we started growing. So literally it was nothing to something.
Peggy Spade McDonald, who was president of the Community Foundation at that time, the foundation made a grant of $100,000 to United Way to establish the Community Food Bank. Throughout the foundation's history, we've tried to be aware of the needs in the community and respond to those, and the way that we can do that is through partners like the food bank that are really in touch with those needs and connected across the whole region.
In our early years, we focused solely on feeding neighbors in need of emergency food. Hunger and health are deeply connected, and interventions are needed for community health and well-being. But when people do not have enough food or must choose inexpensive foods with low nutritional value, it can seriously impact their health. So the food bank grew to meet the needs of the community.
When I started, needless to say, we were not in this warehouse. We were in a small warehouse over off Finley Avenue, which everybody refers to as the farmers market area. We had a total of 18,000 square feet in the warehouse. We moved out of the old warehouse on a Friday afternoon and moved the racks and all the food we had, and we started shipping Monday morning. So we moved the entire warehouse, basically say in 2 days' time. The first year I was at the food bank, we shipped 3 million pounds of food. So we generally increased every year, and when I left, we were up over 11 million pounds of food. And you figured feeding 11 million pounds of food out to the public in 12 counties, that's quite a feat.
In 2016, our board of directors took the bold step to broaden our mission and address hunger's root causes. The food bank began to focus on healthy food initiatives and fresh produce, and create programming to meet the needs of vulnerable neighbors, including families with children and seniors. We envision a time where every family in Central Alabama has access to enough nutritious food to lead a healthy lifestyle.
By feeding families, you're not only meeting a most basic human need, but we also know that good nutrition is important to how children are able to learn in the classroom, prevent disease, and overall health and wellness of families.
To have a program like the Family Market that ensures that not just the child, but that the whole family has the nourishment that they need is so vital. And so this program has been really an essential ingredient, I think, to our educational system when we think about the health of families, so that our youth and our young children can really focus on learning and growing and not be burdened with truly just surviving.
Food is a fundamental need, and the food bank has been mission focused on understanding the needs of people in the community, of different groups, of different subsets of the community, and strategically meeting those needs along with your partners.
What started as a small organization with a 3-county service area has grown to a complex operation serving 12 counties. In 2022, we will provide over 16 million meals into the community. We accomplish our mission by providing food to over 240 partner agencies, including food pantries, shelters, and children's programs, who offer direct services to our neighbors in need. To fill the gaps, both geographically and demographically, we also offer programs to serve our neighbors who are most vulnerable to hunger.
With our partnership with Feeding America, we really learned that we, as a food bank, have a wide meal gap, that there is so much need out in our community that we need to fill. And how do we do that? We do that by scaling. We have so much opportunity to take that next step, to be the voice in Alabama to end hunger, and to help lead collaborative projects to shorten that line. And really it's making sure that we penetrate all of our 12 counties in new and in innovative ways to help really bring food to the people that need it.
The food bank is really in kind of a unique role in that it is an overarching organization. It is a connector. It, in a lot of ways, like the Community Foundation, works with a lot of partner organizations across the region. So you all provide direct programs and services, but you also support those organizations that are doing work on the ground in their local communities and serve as a connector and fill gaps. So I think that overarching role that you play is so important and so needed to make those systems work effectively and meet the needs of people who need food, which is all of us.
I like to say the word community is in our name because it takes all of us to feed our neighbors in need. We're grateful to the leaders in the community who had the vision and the organizations who came together to fund and support our beginnings, and for those who have helped lead the food bank over the past 40 years. There is still work to be done. We believe that no one should go hungry and that there is a solution to the problem of hunger in Alabama. I hope you'll join us in the next 40 years as we move to close the meal gap here in Alabama. Together, we can solve hunger.